Hi, Kat here, and welcome to my channel today. Today I'm going to be doing something a little different, again, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to make masks. I currently live in Michigan, and masks are now required if you're going into a public place. And I know not everyone can go out and buy masks, and I also know not everyone can sew, but I'm going to show you a really easy way to make masks, and then I'm going to do one that's a little more complicated. So this is the first way I'm going to show you. And I have the wrong ears for ear loops, so I have to make them to where they just go over my head and behind my neck. But you can see this is just kind of like a trifold on the sides and then just nothing in the center. And then the second way I'm going to show you, I seem to have misplaced the mask, is this way here, which is a little bit more fitted. Again, I have it as straps because, again, my ears just don't fit ear loops. Whenever I try to do them, they just fall down. So I have them on the sides, but it gives you a sleeker shape, and you can see your face shape a lot more using one of these ones. So a lot of people don't have access necessarily to like fabric and stuff like that. So the way I'm going to show you is these are just made with things from the dollar store, aside from the elastic, which was at Walmart for $2.30, about $2.30. So I'm going to be using red Auto Shop rags, which you get 5 for $1 at the Dollar Tree, and then these multi-purpose cleaning cloths, which have more of a filter type consistency to them. They're made out of cotton. At least well, they're not made out of cotton, but they have a very cottony feel to them. And I mean, and they're a little finer knit, if you can tell. So they're a little bit better to use as filters. Now, price-wise, because I know not everyone has a whole lot of money, especially right now. Like I said, so these items are both from the Dollar Tree. The elastic is only $2.30. So for literally $2 at the Dollar Tree and another $2 at Walmart, you're spending about $4.50 even with tax. And you can make 5 masks with that, because the cleaning cloths you cut into quarters and you get 2 of them, so you can make 8 masks out of the cleaning cloths. The shop rags come in packs of 5, and the elastic is long enough to make anywhere between 7 and 9 masks, depending on how big around your head is and how long you need to make the elastics. I made this one with 21 inches of elastic. This one is using 18. And then you can also use fabric like this, and there's different things you can use for straps. Like, I couldn't find elastic at Walmart currently, so I bought some ribbon that has stretch to it that I can use for women's masks or men's. I don't judge. And I also bought some hem tape. But I found out quickly when doing the math on this that you would need more than a single pack of hem tape, at least of this fancy lacy stuff. You'd need like a pack and a half or 2 packs. So the cheapest way with just this and the elastic costs about 68 cents per mask. The most expensive way, using the actual fabric and hem tape, still this is the filter, costs closer to $5.40. So there's a wide range of price for masks, but still, it would come down to pretty good price. The most expensive part about making any of the masks were to be if you were to use hem tape, because this particular hem tape costs $2 for the pack, and you'd have to use like 2 packs. So that's where most of the price comes from. Even the fabric itself only costs about $1.25 per mask, because you can get up to 4 masks, 5 if you cut it smaller, like this one my mom made. See, it doesn't go all the way to your ears, and they don't need to. So you could get possibly 5 masks out of this, which would make it just $1 a mask. But getting into the actual mask making. So I'm going to take this shop rag, and I'm going to see if I can angle my phone. It probably won't want to. Okay, so I'm going to take my shop rag and I'm going to fold it over a filter, with having the seam be more towards the middle of the mask. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to sew around the edge of the filter so that filter stays in place. And I'm just going to use, in this moment, I'm going to use a running stitch because it's a lot easier, and since I'm just tacking something into place, it doesn't really need to be the most perfect. So what a running stitch is just means I'm taking the needle and I'm just going back and forth like this, and kind of creating a thing. And see, I'm not doing it perfectly straight or anything like that. I mean, you can make masks as pretty as you want, or just functional. So I'm going to continue doing this around the entire perimeter of the filter, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm done here. I'm just tying off my thread, and I kind of want to show you how I usually tie off my thread, because I don't do it like normal people. I actually just go right where my last stitch was, and I poke it through, and I go through the loop a couple times, and it creates a nice little knot right down at the bottom there. Plus it anchors the knot to the fabric, which is especially nice when you're using a looser wove fabric like these rags. So now we have our cloth with our filter in it. Now we just have to, make it to where it's not just a single piece. So the easiest way to do that is to just do it kind of in thirds. And I mean, really, you can do it more than that, but you don't need to. So, I'm just going to do fourths, but you can see when you do that, it makes it nicer because it pinches it here. But what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to cut off this edge here, because it makes the fabric too bulky, And I'm just gonna redo that stitch myself when I go to put the straps on. So give me 1 sec. Now at this point, if you'd like, you don't have to have it that big, so you can actually take off some of the sides, or if you wanted to do it before we got to this point, you could have also adjusted it before we got to this, and then you would have just moved the filter over, and yeah. But I'm just gonna do it this way, and I think it works better if I do it like that, to where it's, let me see. So one of the good things about this is you can always just do it and see how it feels and how it looks, and that kind of makes it bunched up a lot more than if I were to do the accordion fold. So I'm just gonna go back to that. So it's folded in quarters now. I did quarters instead of thirds. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pin this, and I'm gonna pin it closer to the filter because we have to be able to get our straps in there in a second. Ow. Really, I should wear a thimble for how much I do that, but I don't like how bulky thimbles make my fingers. So now I'm gonna measure out the elastic, and now at this point you can do different things. So if you have the type of ears that can actually handle ear loops around them without them just sliding off, because I mean, I tried, it doesn't work. You can also use hair ties if you can't find elastics. So you can get a pack of hair ties like this for pretty cheap, I want to say. This one was $3.84 and it comes with 45 elastics. So it would be nothing to use just a couple elastics. And also, you can get ones like this at the Dollar Tree for $1 for like 15 of them. I can't remember exactly how many comes in a pack. 15, yeah. So you could also do that, and you can cut them at the glue and then just, well, how about I actually do it like that, and I'll make one with ear loops. But it's pretty much the same for if you want to do ear loops or across, because you just, the only difference is this one, I'm wearing black, so this doesn't work the best. But for this one, you just do the same one on other sides. If you were using elastic, you would just make sure it goes across to the other thing, which is pretty self-explanatory. So I'll just do it this way. I'm gonna cut that out. And I'm actually just going to use another Dollar Tree elastic, since that's what that was. Cut out the part that keeps it together. And then we're kind of just going to decide how far we're going to do it in, which we shouldn't have to do it too far. Especially since we want nice ear loops that are actually going to be elasticy around our ears. And I'm going to do a quick sew of these. You just have to kind of anchor it, because there's not really a whole lot to sew when it comes to a hair tie. They're very small. And actually, a lot of times what I'll do is when I'm sewing the elastics in, I'll go ahead and I'll do the hem at the same time. So I fold this in. And see, now it's a nice little hem there. My cats are dropping my things. So then I'm gonna just put the elastic in the hem. I'm gonna start a stitch on the other side of it. Then I'm gonna do a couple stitches actually through it. And I started on the outside so then I could go through the hair tie a couple times. I just did the wrong stitch there, but I usually don't fumble this much, but it's been a long day. All right. You can see now that the elastic is secured. And I'm going to continue sewing down the hem, but I'm going to use a stitch like you would. Now there's a knot in my string, but it's fine. But I'm going to use a stitch like you would use to do the hem of like a blanket, which for all I know, it could be just called a blanket stitch, but I don't think it is. So I'm going to loop the thread. You work just from one side. Like I said, usually I don't fumble this much when I'm sewing. So you want to make sure that hem stays in place, because you don't want it to be too uneven. So now I'm holding the hem in place like that, and that'll make it a little bit easier. So I'm staying on this side of the fabric, and I'm putting the string over the tip of the needle as it comes through. And it creates this stitch here where there's a line of thread going through it, and it's on both sides. It actually goes around the outside of the fabric. So you go through. And I'm going to continue this down the side until I get right to the end there where I'm going to put in the other side of the elastic. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the strap on. It is nice and secured. See, I can pull on it. It's not coming out. And I have the edges clean, so nothing's sticking out. So now I'm just going to repeat this on the other side, and then we're going to sew across here. So we sew in this fold so that it, isn't just a solid piece of fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on the other side. Repeat this side, and then I will do the sewing across here to anchor that, and I will be right back. Okay, so I actually realized for this side, I'm gonna actually unfold it, and you can see I actually pinned it, because it'll be a lot easier to do that hem with it unfolded, which was kind of my reason behind doing that before I did the thing anyways, so I don't know why I would have started it that way. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same thing on this side, just with it unfurled. Okay, so I've got the other side sewed on, and I mean, at the moment it is still a mask, but you see how it's got the, like, it's super gappy on the sides. So you want to do something to bring that together. So that's why we're going to do the folds and secure those folds. So again, I'm just going to kind of fold it up like that. This time I'm going to put the pins more towards the ends. And then you don't have to sew these a whole bunch. You don't have to go across the whole line. You just need to secure these folds. So really you only have to do a couple, like 2, 3, maybe 4 big stitches throughout the whole thing. So I'll do that real quick. Okay, so you can see I did those couple anchor stitches, and now when you go to put it on,
everyone is trying to do their part, especially now. And your Ford dealer
again, I said my ears don't really like masks. And you know what, I think it is better when you only do 3. I thought I secured that. I guess I didn't. I thought I paused that. But so now it is a mask. And I think I would stick with just the 3 on the side. Because again, so it doesn't stay on my face because my ears, just anything that goes on them slides off. But you can see that it still works. And it's a little bunched up on the side. So I would just stick with the 3 folds. Like I did on this one. And I just stack them like I did with this one. It's made extremely similar, but it's just the 3 folds, which I think turns out a little better than the 4, because I don't think it likes that these are quite that way. And it's also easy to change that. I mean, that's a good thing about just doing the anchor stitches. But it is a functional mask, and there's no gaps around the edges or anything. And it's nice and simple. But I would, again, stick with the trifold instead of doing it 4 times, because that was just silly of me, I guess. Because the way I did the first one, because I had never made a mask before, was I took my fabric, right, and I put it up to my face, and I just saw how it would fit, and it was a trifold, you can see. So that's kind of how it works best. So for the other mask, I don't think I'm gonna show it in the same video because this is already kind of long, especially for mine. But also I forgot to mention, for people who don't have sewing stuff at home, like a needle and thread, it's also super cheap. I got this little kit at Walmart that came with quite a few pieces of thread. 3 spools of thread, and then it came with like 3 needles. Yeah, 3 needles and a needle threader. And it's just $1. So if you don't have thread, you can get all the thread you would ever need for little things like this for just $1. And then you have all the different colors, so you can use different fabrics and you can make the color match. So that's actually all I'll do right now. I'll upload another video tomorrow showing you guys this way, which I honestly like a little better anyway. And I'll actually do it with the back straps instead of the ears, especially since I like it that way. Anyway. So that is all for this video. Thank you for watching. Sorry it was so long. Sorry that I'm muffled. And also sorry it didn't contain everything I said it would. I will put a link to the next video in the description when I upload it. But thank you. I hope this helped. And if you know me personally and you don't have access to masks, you can't afford to go out and buy things, or you don't really have good working fingers, because even with me, my fingers don't work all the time, so sometimes I fumble like you saw earlier. Just let me know. I'd have enough stuff to make a decent amount of masks here, and I'd be more than happy to make one for you. Either I'm not sure if I'll do too many this style because they're a lot harder. They take a lot longer. Well, not like a whole lot, but they are a little more complicated. But I can definitely do some like this. And this may be hanging a little funny. It's actually damp because I washed this earlier. And it's not dirty, by the way. I tried coloring it with markers, which is why I washed it, because I didn't want to be, like, huffing marker scents. But I'd be more than happy to do some of these, or, you know, and I can make them with either the ear loops or the back of the head straps, because I know not everyone has the perfect sized ears for ear straps. My mom can't really do ear straps. I can't really do ear straps. I mean, it's staying up right now, but I can feel it already wanting to slip. Also, they have a tendency to, you can see my ear starting to fold down. They have a tendency to get caught on my earrings, which I do not like, because my ears stay sore. It takes a long time for my ears to heal. So sorry for the little rant at the end of the video. Thank you for sticking around. Sorry my hair looks nuts. Sorry the video was long. And sorry I didn't make this type. But I will be uploading a video on how to do this tomorrow. Honestly, I'm not even sure if I'm going to wind up posting this. If I do, hi, welcome to, like, the most rudimentary version of this video I could have ever made. especially with kind of having a fail as far as my cats just spilt all my sewing supplies. Great. Since this didn't really turn out the best, but I can fix that and turn it to the trifold. Have a great day. It's nighttime and I'm tired and I think I'm gonna go to bed. I gotta wake up early tomorrow. So have a great day. Bye. Thank you for coming. Sorry this video was crap. Have a great night.